Well, the markets moved even lower now. We have moved to the low point of the day. Tech Mahindra and Bharti Airtel, both those two stocks, they have moved lower. And that explains why, in fact, a last downtick is what we're seeing. In fact, ITC as well, ahead of its numbers, is looking a little nervous. And that's a rather heavier weight. So if you pull up ITC, you'll see that stock has accounted for that last 5-10 point dip that we did see. But moving on then, HOEC, that's a stock on our radar on the back of strong Q3 numbers. The Q3 numbers look good on a year-on-year basis. On a sequential basis, there was some weakness that was seen. To discuss this and more, we have Mr. Elango, the MD of the company, who joins us. Hi, Mr. Elango. First of all, sir, congratulations. I remember the start of this year, you had said you're looking for around 150 crores of revenues in FY19. You have already achieved 165 crores odd. For this year, what kind of a revenue number are you looking at? And margins of around 73.5% odd. You were talking about 75%. That's coming up or not?
We're looking at achieving an overall revenue target of close to 200 crores in this financial year, and margins are expected to be maintained at about 70% as we guided earlier. Okay. So we are on track on what we said and slightly overachieving it.
So when you say 200 crore of revenues in FY19, that would imply only 35 crores of revenues in Q4, which would compare with what, 60 crore of revenues that you did in the September and December quarter. What is the reason for a sharp decline on a sequential basis when you guide for 200 crores? Or are you being conservative and the actual number could look similar? You know, the quarterly revenue could look similar to what we saw in the December quarter.
Yeah, quarterly would look similar, but what is really uncertain is about how the oil prices are going to play out over the next quarter. Though the impact of oil prices on us is about 10% only. But, you know, one is very unsure about how the oil prices are going to play out.
What's the volume growth, sir? I mean, on a year-to-date basis as well as in the last quarter, if you could give us that number, and what's the guidance for the year?
Yeah, no, in Q2 we achieved for the first time full production capacity of about 32 million cubic feet of gas per day in Dirok field, and then in Q3 we have achieved full production capacity of about 10 million cubic feet in PY1 field. So as we enter the Q4, we expect to deliver the full production capacity both from our key two assets, Dirok as well as PY1, which means we would be entering the next financial year on a full production capacity basis as such.
Any early signs of what FY20 may look like for HOEC? What would be the key factors at play, the guidance or the target that you're working with?
In the next financial year, our target is really to focus on our next development project, which is the B80 field in Mumbai offshore, which we won during the discovered small field round. That is a field which can add 5,000 barrels of gross production, of which 50% is our share. So we would be really focusing on delivering the project as promised by Q1 of FY 2021. That's April to June 2020. So that will be our primary focus. On the production front, we expect to deliver the full production capacity from both PY1 and Dirok.
All right, Mr. Elango, you have some capex plans as well, right? You're talking about building a pipeline as well. What's the capex outlook and how do you plan on raising that money?
So as we speak, we are a debt-free company with 100 crore cash on cash and cash equivalent net with us, and we are looking at capex of close to 100 to 120 crores during the next financial year, okay, which will be fully funded through our internal accruals and cash in hand.
Okay, Mr. Elango, final question before we let you go. I'm looking at your numbers, they're looking good. You're talking about 100 crores of cash as well. The first 9 months have been splendid actually if I compare it with the last few years. Since it's been such a good year, do you plan on returning some value to shareholders, maybe a dividend? If I look at your history, I think you haven't paid dividend the last few years because things were rather rocky. Can your shareholders hope for some dividend payout?
We've got lined up a set of projects, which is most of them are discovered resources, which requires capital to monetize them. So we would be looking at creating a more of a long-term value. Of course, the question on dividend would be decided by the board and the shareholders at the end. But we are in a good position overall.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Elango, for joining in. Some statements coming in from JSW Steel. Don't expect downside in price in 2019 as supply is coming down in China. We'll slip into a very short break. On the other side, Ashwini Gujral and Rajat Bose will join in with your trading strategy. Stay tuned.